Good morning. I've pre-recorded a class for you today. It is a restorative yin-based and chakra balancing class. So if you'd like to have a little bit of nourishing yoga this morning, this is one for you. You'll just need a mat and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can just use a rolled up mat or a rolled up towel, just something that's going to be able to be used underneath your hips to sit on and to use as a prop in a couple of the exercises. So I hope that you enjoy the class and make yourself comfortable, and we'll get started.
Rolled up towel. I've got my bolster. So I'm just going to put the bolster on the mat, and you can use just any rolled up towel. It doesn't have to be huge, but it's just something that we can use to lift the hips. So to start off with, we're just going to sit on that. Get my device. So we're just going to sit on the bolster or sit on your rolled up towel so that your knees are lower than your hips. And if it's not comfortable to sit cross-legged, you can sit with your legs out in front. And of course, you're always welcome to sit on a chair. So to start off with, we'll just anchor down through the seat bones, lengthen up through the spine, bring the hands onto the knees with the palms facing downwards. And that just gives us the sensation of grounding. So we're just grounding onto the mat or onto the floor or onto your chair. So we just want to feel nice and solid and secure. And we're going to engage the mul band. So mul band is the root lock. So root lock is the first chakra. So we're just going to, it's really the same as engaging in the Pilates classes where we're drawing upwards with the pelvic floor and inwards with the transverse abdominis. So we're just going to engage that mul band just so that we can feel that center of security and safety that we have in our body. And this is our place of trust. And I think just where we are today in level 3 again, it's just nice to remind ourselves that we are safe and secure and that we can trust, even if we're just trusting ourselves, trusting our environment, that we're in this room, this place where we're, these surroundings that we find ourselves in now. Then closing the eyes, lengthening up through the spine, and just imagining that invisible thread drawing up from the crown of the head to allow our spine to become long and light. So we want to feel as if the spine is dangling down from the crown of the head, as if it's held up by that invisible string and just dangling down like a string of pearls. So as you're sitting with your root lock or your mul band engaged, just taking your awareness to that place, right at the base of your body, that first chakra, that center of safety and security. We're just going to breathe into that place for a few breaths. So without trying to direct the breath and as far as how deep or how long the breath should be, just taking the breath to the root chakra and just being aware of breath at the root chakra. Breathing in and breathing out. So trying to put away the thoughts of the day and just for a moment, not giving too much attention to the rest of your body. If there's any niggles or aches and pains, just let them be for a moment. And really try and focus on root chakra. And that place at the base of the body, that center of safety and security. And perhaps, if you wish, you can even just mentally, silently to yourself, say the affirmation, I trust. I trust. I trust. And just taking a few more breaths here in root chakra. And noticing as we engage that Mulband, that root chakra, Muladhara chakra, noticing as we engage there, that we do feel quite solid and secure in our whole body. We have a nice solid base from which to rise up out of. If you'd like to keep your eyes closed, you can. We're just going to continue to keep Mulband engaged, but we're going to begin to move the arms now and bring some of that energy up through the spine. So we're just going to take the arms out to the side, raising them up above the head, inhaling as we reach the palms up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling, turn the palms to the floor and bring them back to the knees. Relax the shoulders. Inhaling again, opening up the arms to the side, bringing them up to the ceiling, and then turning the palms, exhaling the hands back down and bringing them to the knees. And just doing that a few more times in your own breathing pattern or your own breathing rhythm, enjoying that inhalation of energy, drawing the energy up through the spine, up to the crown of the head, maybe feeling the energetic body all the way out to the edge of your fingertips. And as you exhale, see if you can relax the body and let go of any tension around the shoulders, around the hips, around the face, around the neck. And we'll just do one more like that. And then just taking a moment, once again, just sitting in silence, observing the body, noticing if there's any tight spots or any sore spots. Just being aware of those places, maybe thinking that that is an area that you need to let go of during this class. So we're going to work through each of the chakras, just working our way up the spine now. So I'd like you to take the bolster or your block or your towel or whatever it is that you've been sitting on, turn it around and sit down on it with it between your legs. Now, if that's not a comfortable place for your knees, feel free to sit on something a little higher or even just sit on a chair and take your knees out behind, your feet out behind you so that your knees are down lower on the chair. So you're just sort of squatting a little bit on the chair. So just having the knees open. And then we're just going to work through to the second chakra now, which is the sacral chakra. So we're going to do that with some breathing. Again, placing the hands on the knees so that we've got that, that grounding down through the base of our body. We're going to connect that Mulband or Muladhara chakra to the seat or the bolster. And then we're going to inhale, opening the chest up to the front, and exhale, curving back. So we're just working with the breath, opening, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you open, maybe lift the head, exhaling, curling the back. So it's a little bit like a cat curl. So we're moving from the tailbone up through the spine to the crown of the head. And then again, tipping back, tucking the tailbone under, curling the spine right up to the crown of the head, tuck the chin. Inhale as you open the chest, and exhale as you curve back. So nice, slow, rhythmic breathing. Just moving some of the breath or some of the energy up from that Muladhara chakra up through the second sacral chakra, Swadhisthana. And just enjoying that breath, maybe closing your eyes. Make sure that you're squeezing the shoulder blades together and rounding the shoulder blades. Remember, the shoulder blades are part of the breath structure. So the shoulder blades moving across the back help the lungs to expand and contract. So use your shoulder blades to help you breathe here. And we'll just do one more like this. And then coming back to stillness again. And maybe just observing the effects of that practice. Noticing your breath rate and your heart rate. Noticing again your physical body, any places that feel as if you could relax them, or any places that feel as if they need to be nurtured in this practice. Now we're going to remove the bolster altogether and come up to a standing position. So we're going to work into our solar plexus chakra next. Solar plexus, the center of the body. And this is the physical center of our torso. So it is the place halfway between the belly button and the bottom of the ribs, and it's right in the center of the body. So it's centralized between the front and the back of the body. Solar plexus, Manipura chakra. This is our fire center, our power center. So we're just going to come to standing, and we're going to work with this one from side to side. So we're going to inhale, reaching the arms up. We're going to take the right wrist with the left fingertips and reach across. And we're just going to stand here in Ardha Chakrasana, breathing here, feeling that breath in the solar plexus, in that center chakra. And of course, you will feel the stretch down the side of the body. And if you can, just release and relax any places that are clenching to hold on. And we're just continuing to breathe nice, long, deep breaths here. Feeling that opening through Manipura chakra, the solar plexus. We'll take one more breath here. Inhale, coming up to standing. Reach the arms up, and then taking the left wrist with the right fingers and coming across again onto the other side. Finding that place where you can hold that posture without too much difficulty, and then allowing those muscles that are feeling tight to relax. And taking your focus, so your center of awareness, to solar plexus, Manipura chakra. Enjoying the stretch down the side body, but the focus is the Manipura chakra. So we're trying not to tip forward or backwards. We're just coming straight over to the side. Breathing. Breath into the belly. And then inhaling, coming back to center. Exhaling, bringing the hands down and standing for a moment in Tadasana. So the big toe joints very close together, the heels slightly further apart, lifting up through the quadricep muscles, tucking the tailbone slightly under so that the core is engaged, lifting out through heart center, keeping the spine nice and long. Close the eyes, stretch the fingertips down towards the floor, and then just allow the whole body to relax into this position. So Tadasana is a relaxation posture with the eyes closed, just looking around the body for any places that can be softened or relaxed. And observing the effect of the practice that we've just done. Taking one more breath here. And then we'll come back down to the mat. So this time, see if you can do this without using your hands. And if you'd like to stay on a chair, that's fine too, because we will be sitting with our legs crossed. Although you can sit with your legs out in front of you if you prefer. And if you've had your legs crossed one way, see if you can cross them the other way. So this one, we're working on heart chakra now. So heart chakra is the middle of the chakras. So we've got 7 chakras, heart being the 4th. So it's 4th from the top and 4th from the bottom. So again, anchoring down through the seat bone, sitting up nice and tall through the spine. We're going to take the arms around and clasp the fingers so they're interlocked behind your back. So that fingers are interlaced or interlocked behind your back. Opening out through the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the fingertips towards the floor, and really lift out through that heart. You can close your eyes and just breathe here. So I want you to feel some pressure in this area, some pressure around the heart chakra. Breathing here, opening the heart to the ceiling. We'll just hold here and breathe. So if you're aware of tension in some part of the body, perhaps in the hips or the shoulders, just try not to focus on that tension, just let it relax. Take your focus to the heart. One more breath here. And then we're going to gently lift the arms away from the body. So we're pulling the hands out and away from the body, straightening the arms up. Just feeling that extra little bit of stretch in the shoulders. And then release the hands, let them come apart. Now we're going to inhale, bring the arms up. So we're still working on heart chakra. We're going to interlock the fingers. This time try and interlace them the opposite direction you normally would. And turn them upside down so the palms are facing to the ceiling. Raising up, so we're opening up the ribs, opening up the heart. Feeling that opening in the heart again. Breathing here. Taking one more breath. And as we exhale, we're going to undo the fingers and take them down, but we're going to turn as we're doing this, and we're going to bring the left hand to the right knee into a twist. If it's available for you to take your right hand around to your hip, otherwise just leaving the fingertips on the floor behind you. And this, of course, can all be done in the chair. So just coming around to the twist, breathing here. So now we're working still in the heart, around the thoracic spine, giving the thoracic spine some mobility, some space around that heart chakra. And of course, the heart chakra is our center for love and compassion. We really want to nurture that love and compassion right now. Taking one more breath here, and then inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling around to the other side, bringing your right hand to your left knee, and either wrapping your fingers around to the hip or just keeping your fingertips on the floor. Trying to make sure that you're stable in this position, that you're not leaning into the back hand. Turning the head and feeling that movement through the thoracic spine, that place between the shoulder blades, behind the heart. Breathing, opening, focusing on that love and compassion in the heart center. One more breath here. And then we'll inhale, reaching up. And we'll just exhale, bringing the hands down onto the knees again. We'll just do one more exercise for heart center because that love and compassion is so important. We're going to move the chest forward and then rotate around in a circle. Exhaling as you come back, inhaling as you move the chest forward. So it's like you're stirring through the base of the body. I want you to really feel that stretch through the spine as you come forward, curving back as you exhale. Nice big slow circles with the torso, leading from the heart. And the next time that you come to the front, we're going to reverse the direction. Moving back with the exhale and lifting the heart with the inhale. Keeping that focus in heart center. And finishing up at the front and just releasing. And once again, perhaps just bringing your hands in your lap now, one hand on top of the other, just closing your eyes and observing the practice. Feeling the breath flowing through the body, imagining perhaps that you could start the breath at the base, at the root chakra, and bring the breath up through to the heart. And taking one more breath here. Now we're going to move on to hands and knees. So we're moving up now to the throat chakra, Vishuddha chakra. So Vishuddha is the center for communication. So these exercises are all just about focus and awareness, and bringing now your center of awareness from Anahata, from heart chakra, up to Vishuddha chakra, which is the base of the throat. It's the place of where the little hollow in the base of the throat. And we also have thyroid gland there. So Vishuddha chakra is very important for stimulating the endocrine system. So when we've got a lot of stress hormones and those sorts of things bouncing around in the body, Vishuddha chakra can really help to balance that. So first of all, we're just going to work with cat and cow. And I really want you to take your focus to that place at the base of the neck. So even though we're still starting from the tailbone as we arch up through our cat, as we exhale, inhaling from the tailbone and sinking down through the belly. But I want you to really feel that stretch across the base of the neck, the throat. So as you exhale, feel that throat being contracted as you tuck the chin into the chest. And as you inhale, coming up into your cow posture, feel that stretch across the base of the neck and the throat. Taking your focus of attention to the Vishuddha chakra. You can close your eyes. And perhaps if you would like to envisage the color blue, that's the color of Vishuddha chakra. Just working with your breath, with your rhythm. Normally we would pay more attention to the articulation of the spine, but this time I really want you to focus on the throat and Vishuddha chakra. What's happening there, that massage that we're getting as we move the head up and down through this posture. And we'll make this the last one, coming back to stillness. We're going to move right into the next chakra, which is the third eye. This is Agnya chakra. Agnya chakra is found right in the center of the brain, in fact. It's the pituitary gland. And so it's often thought of as the third eye between the eyebrows, but it's really behind that place in the brain. So we're just going to come down and we're going to place our third eye on the mat. So taking your hands forward, your knees remain under your hips, so your hips are high, bringing your shoulders down and bringing your forehead onto the mat. Now, if that's uncomfortable for you, you can use your bolster to lift up a little bit. So bringing your forehead onto your bolster and just letting your shoulders become relaxed around you. So whatever way that you can use some props if you need to allow that forehead to just rest on the mat or on some bolster or something. And so that pressure between the eyebrows, the pressure on the forehead, allows us to maybe focus a little bit more on that place of Agnya chakra. And as you're doing this, you're allowing the shoulders just to gently reach down towards the mat, and the heart center to reach down towards the mat. Breathing here. And taking your focus of attention into the center of the brain to that Agnya chakra. And we'll just take one more breath here. And then gently making your way back up. And now we're going to come up. Take your time. After you've been down in that position, you might feel a little bit dizzy or a little bit wobbly. So take your time. We're just going to come up to standing. And in this standing position, I'm going to have you bring yourself back to Tadasana. And we're just going to work through an exercise called centering. So centering is a balance exercise. It's a spatial awareness exercise, and it's a relaxation and meditation exercise. Normally we do this without focusing on the crown of the head, but this time we are actually going to focus on the crown of the head, which is our Sahasrara chakra. So that's our 7th chakra. This is the chakra that is our connection to the divine, or our connection to the spirit, our connection to the universe, whatever it is that you feel you believe in. And so I just want you to use this particular exercise to really feel that connection that we have with everything else around us. So we're trying to, in this exercise, we're trying to feel that connection with our eyes closed. So please keep your eyes closed throughout this practice. And just starting off by acknowledging or accepting our body the way it is today. And just taking your awareness to the crown of the head and whatever it is that you believe we are connected to. If you think that we're connected to everything through molecules and matter, the physical scientific approach, that's fine. If you've got some other beliefs, you can just move through whatever your belief system is in that connection. And then just holding that connection and that point of the crown of your head, the Sahasrara chakra, we're going to begin the practice. So keep the eyes closed. And I'd like you just to imagine what is in front of you, whatever it is in front of you, just with your eyes closed, picturing that space in front of you, and just sensing how far away are the objects. How big or small are they? Are they hard or soft? And just really finding the dimension of those objects. Maybe they're something like a couch that only comes halfway up, or maybe it's a wall that goes all the way up. So whatever it is that is in front of you, just feeling that through your whole physical body, feeling that space. And now I'd like you to let go of that awareness and just allow your weight to come forward over your toes. So as you're doing this, becoming aware of the crown of your head, and becoming aware that your head is now moving out of that place of balance. And just accepting and allowing that, surrendering to that little bit of instability, but keeping that connection. Keeping the connection from the crown of the head to whatever it is. And just allowing your body to feel that pull of gravity as your body moves forward. Maybe noticing the arms come forward a little bit. And maybe noticing some clenching of muscles, trying to hold you in that position. See if you can let those go. And then coming back to center and just standing again in center, keeping that focus in Sahasrara. Now I'd like you to imagine what's in the room behind you. And just feeling into the back of the room, into the back body, Feeling your connection to the divine or connection to whatever you have through the crown of your head, and just noticing how that affects your awareness of the back of the room behind you. How far away the objects are, how dense they are. And then allowing yourself to just gently move back into the space behind you. So letting go of the awareness of the objects and just feeling the body as it moves backwards, the weight over the heels, and the effect of gravity pulling you back. Just allowing the hands to relax, so they may be moving back as well. Trying to keep the body straight so you're not bending. Just feeling that pull of gravity and keeping the awareness in Sahasrara. Maybe seeing if there's something in the body that you can relax here. Taking one more breath. And then let's come back to center and just stay in center, keeping the eyes closed still and observing. Trying to keep the focus on Sahasrara and your connection. And now taking your awareness to the space in the room beside you to the right. And just noticing what is beside you. Being aware of how far away things are. Maybe textures, maybe even noticing temperatures to the right. So just noticing whatever you can to the right of you without opening the eyes. Keeping that connection through Sahasrara. And then gently bringing your awareness back to Sahasrara and just allowing your body to move across to the right slightly. So now gravity is taking you to the right, maybe feeling that pressure on the right foot. Maybe feeling the right arm moving out away from the body. And just noticing the effect of the pull of gravity across to the right. Keeping your connection through that crown chakra, Sadasana. Is there anything you can relax in your body? Anything that's clenching? Now come back to center. Take a breath here. Find your connection to your crown of your head. And then take your awareness to your left side. What's in the room beside you to the left? What sensations can you experience on that side? And just noticing everything to the left with your eyes closed. Maybe some of these sensations are becoming a little more blurry or a little sharper, or they're feeling different in the body in some way. Now letting go of the awareness and just letting the body move to the left, feeling gravity pulling you across, allowing that to happen, keeping the body soft, relaxing into it, and observing Sahasrara, crown of the head connection. Taking one more breath here, and then coming back to center. And once again, just standing in Tadasana, observing that practice. And then letting go of your awareness of Sahasrara chakra and beginning to breathe now from Sahasrara, breathing from the crown of the head, imagining that the breath is coming down from the crown of the head, down through each of the chakras, through the Agnya chakra in the third eye, through the throat, Vishuddha chakra, through the heart, Anahata, through the solar plexus, Manipura chakra, through the sacral chakra, Sahastan, and right down to Muladhara chakra, the base. So breathing from the crown of the head down through each of the chakras. And feeling that breath anchoring you back down to the earth, down to your point of safety and security. Just taking 3 more nice long deep breaths, right down from the crown of the head down to Muladhara chakra. And then when you're ready, either keeping the eyes closed or you can open your eyes if you wish and come all the way back down to your mat. So just coming down very gently, very slowly, very mindfully, back down to your mat and just coming down to a laying down position on your mat. So just allowing the whole body now to rest on the mat with the palms facing upwards and the feet flopped out to the side. And just taking these next few moments just to integrate all of that practice into your body. So just allowing your awareness to scan through your body and notice things in your body, physical things, mental, emotional things, whatever it is that is happening or that you can experience now in your body. Just observing those things. So we're just observing the effects of the practice. There's no right or wrong here. Maybe you don't feel anything, that's okay too. Just enjoy the relaxation. Maybe lying on the mat. We'll just take a couple more breaths here. And then you can gently in your own time begin to open your eyes. And we'll just move on to the next part of the practice, which is going to be opening up through the hips. So to start off with, I'm going to have you place the bolster under your hips. So you can use a block. If you haven't got a bolster, you can use a block or a rolled up towel or a couple of books, anything at all. I'm going to place that under the sacrum and then lay back down so that your hips are over the bolster. And if you've got back issues and this is uncomfortable, you might want to just bring that level down a little bit so you're not quite so high in that arch. I just want you to feel the opening across the hips and the hip flexors. And if you're really uncomfortable with that, with your back like that, you can bend the knees and just let the feet flop out to the side. See if that helps to alleviate any back pain. What we're trying to do here is just notice the opening through the front of the hip flexors, through the muscles in the front of the body. And of course, one of the hip flexors is the psoas, and the psoas runs from the front of the crease in the top of the thigh to the lower back. So sometimes we find that we get lower back pain because of a tight psoas. And of course, the psoas is also the fight or flight muscle, which is stimulated when we are in conditions of stress. So this is one of the reasons that when we're stressed, we get a sore lower back, because the psoas becomes contracted. Physiological stimulation from production of cortisol, which of course the cortisol comes from the adrenal glands, which the psoas runs across the adrenal glands. So it's a chicken and egg situation. The contraction of the psoas stimulates the adrenal glands, and the cortisol stimulates the psoas. So we'll just see if we can let that muscle relax. And by knowing where it is, sometimes we can just take our mind there and soften. Closing the eyes helps us to go inwards a little bit more, shutting out the incoming messages from our vision, practicing pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. Taking some long, deep breaths here will help to let those muscles relax. So these are yin exercises. They're typically held for 3 to 5 minutes. And by doing this, we just let the body soften into the posture. So I'm trying to do these ones without moving around, without shifting or wriggling, just allow the body to soften into it. And let's take 3 nice long deep breaths here together. Inhaling into the belly, expanding the belly as much as you can. And as you exhale, letting go, releasing, relaxing. Taking another breath into the belly, expanding the belly as much as you can. And as you exhale, softly relaxing, breathing out through the nostrils. Last breath into the belly, big breath, taking as much breath as you can into the belly. And exhaling, releasing. Now returning to normal breathing. I'm going to have you very slowly and carefully move your knees up to the ceiling so that your feet are flat on the floor. And just lift the hips enough to slide your block or your bolster or whatever it is out, and then bring your hips back down to the mat. So just allowing the back to settle back down on the mat. The knees are up and the feet flat on the floor. I just want to give the back a chance to relax down onto the mat. So again, try to avoid the temptation to wriggle around and to adjust things. Just try and work slowly into these postures and just hold them and let the mind soften and relax. So from here, we're just going to roll over onto your side. Doesn't matter which side. You're going to come all the way over onto your belly. I'm just going to swap around so I'm facing the other direction. And coming over onto your hands and knees now, we're going to slide the right foot up so that we're going to come into pigeon posture. So the foot comes to one side of the mat, the knee to the other side, and bringing your hip down towards your heel. Now, if you're really up in the air, you can use that bolster again, plunking it underneath your right seat bones and adjusting yourself so that your hips are level across the mat. So don't want you to be turned onto your side. Want you to keep the hips nice and level. So this is pigeon posture. And if your knee is uncomfortable here, you can also do this when lying on your back. So just imagine being upside down in this position. Just demonstrate that. So you're just going to bring your foot this way as much as you can if you're really uncomfortable in pigeon. But preferably allowing the weight of your body to soften through the hips. So again, we're working with this with the hip flexors. So we're working with that left hip flexor. We're also working with the right glute. So this is again working into that whole area of the psoas. And if it's available to you to come down onto your elbows, just moving as far as you feel comfortable. So if you're feeling too much strain and certainly no pain, I don't want you to feel any pain at all, then back off, come back up to straight arms. Otherwise, moving down, perhaps even moving the forehead onto the hands or onto a bolster. If you wish, you can put the bolster under your head. So coming to whatever place is comfortable for you, and then holding and breathing. So again, we're just going to be here for 3 to 5 minutes, softening through this posture. So make sure that you are comfortable. Just finding those places of tension, letting them relax, letting the body rest, breathing. Now you can also think about the psoas in this posture as well, because now we've got the right psoas stimulated in a different way. So if you imagine that we've taken some of the pressure off that psoas. So the psoas is a muscle that connects the spine to the top of the femur, which means that it's responsible when we lift our knee. Now we've got the knee tucked right up. So the psoas has no weight on it whatsoever, no pressure on it whatsoever. You can really let that go at this point. And you probably feel the glutes kicking in there. They're another one that gets a bit tight when we're under stress. So just see if you can relax the glutes and enjoy that
release through the sides. Taking some long, deep breaths. And of course, all of these yin postures are also meditative postures. They help us to bring our mind away from whatever is floating around in there and down onto the focus of attention. If you find your mind wandering, that's okay. Just acknowledge that it's wandered and bring it back to your focus. We'll just take another 3 long, deep breaths together here. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling the expansion of the lungs here. Particularly noticing across the back of the body. And exhaling, releasing and relaxing any further tension in the hips. One more nice long deep breath. Exhaling, softly releasing.
And now coming up nice and slowly, press the hands back up to the floor, or if you can, bring them onto your leg, opening up through the front of the body. So we're just going to get a nice stretch into the front of that left hip flexor and really feeling that tension come off the right psoas. Breathing here and then releasing the hands to the mat. Tuck the toes and step back into a little downward dog. So we're just going to open out through the back of the body and stretch the back of the body. Just a gentle downward dog, feeling that stretch across the back. Relax the head, relax the shoulders. Open up through the seat bones and take the tailbone to the ceiling, draw the heels towards the floor. Taking one more breath here. And then coming down to hands and knees. And we're going to step that left foot forward now. And bringing your right hip down towards the left heel. So the foot on the right side of the mat, the knee on the left side of the mat, and acknowledging that the two sides of our body are not always the same. So you might find that this side you do need that prop under your hip, or maybe things go a little bit easier on this side. So just finding your position to start with, lengthening up through the spine. And make sure you take your time to come down. So don't just immediately come into position and flop down onto your face. See if you can just take a little bit of time to lengthen the body, feel your way into the posture. And then when you're ready, when things feel as if they've let go a little bit, then you can gently move your way down. And coming to whatever level it is on this side that feels comfortable for you. So some place where you can spend that 3 to 5 minutes just hanging out, letting things go, observing the body, practicing mindfulness, bringing your mind back to the task each time it wanders off. Training the mind is like training a puppy. Give it a task and it'll
It'll sit for a moment and focus on the task, and then the seagull will fly by or something will happen and the puppy will be off again. Bring the puppy back. I'm just trying to train the mind without judgment. Just accepting that that's what's going to happen. The mind will wander, bringing it back. Being gentle with ourselves without trying to push, without forcing. I'm just trying to observe the body as if you were a third-party observer, noticing, how does this feel on this side in comparison to the other side? Where do you feel it? What muscles can you let go? Continuing to breathe long, deep breaths. Taking your breath to the places that need to be relaxed. Maybe noticing if you've been holding tension around your shoulders or in your face. Let's take 3 nice long deep breaths here. Breathing in, feeling the breath in the top of the lungs and the back of the lungs. Exhaling, letting go, softening. Inhaling, expanding the lungs. Exhaling, releasing. And one more nice long deep breath. Really enjoying this last breath in this posture. Exhaling, letting it go. And then once again, moving nice and slowly to come back up. Walking the hands back to the body, back onto the leg if possible, opening up from the front of the body, feeling that lovely stretch across the front. Breathing here. And then relaxing the hands to the mat, tuck the back toes, and stretching the back of the body. Feet bones to the ceiling, heels to the floor, downward facing dog. Relax the head and shoulders. Open the whole back of the body. Then coming down to the hands and knees. And we'll scoot round to seated position. I'm just sitting with your feet out in front of you now.
So we'll just finish the physical part of the practice with a twist. So we're going to raise the right leg up and place the foot on the opposite side of the left leg. Bringing your left hand around the front of the knee, opening out through the front of the body as you take the fingers to the back of the room. Drawing your shoulders behind, lengthening the spine. Turn the head around towards your right shoulder. Hold and breathe. See if you can soften into this posture. So any place you're feeling tension, maybe the hips, maybe the back, maybe the shoulders, let that go. Taking one more breath here. Come back through center. Release that leg, just sitting up nice and tall. And then changing sides. So we're going to bring the left foot onto the floor. Make sure that foot's planted right down on the floor. And then wrapping your right hand around the front of the knee, lengthen the spine, turning, rotating through the thoracic spine. So the rib cage lifting up and over the thigh, taking the shoulder back, releasing any tension that you're feeling anywhere in the body. Turning the head to complete the twist, holding and breathing. Trying to make this posture light and effortless. Taking one more breath here. And then exhaling back to center. Release the legs. And we'll just come down once again onto your back. So bringing your feet to the front of the mat, sitting up nice and tall through the spine, and just curling your way down one vertebra at a time. Just nice and slowly coming down onto the mat. Sliding the legs out long, releasing the hands. And we're just going to work through a relaxation technique called instant relaxation technique. So I'm going to have you first of all squeeze the toes, scrunch up the toes, scrunch up the legs, the calf muscles, the knees, tighten up through the thighs, squeeze the buttocks, bring your fists, hands into fists, tighten up through the arms, squeeze the shoulders, tighten the belly and the back, squeeze the shoulders up to your ears, scrunch up your face, make every muscle in your body as tight as you can. Inhale, raise the arms and the legs off the ground an inch or two, and then let everything go down. And just letting the whole body rest where it falls. Observing the breath rate and the heart rate. Taking one more breath like this. And we're just going to do that one more time. So now you know what's coming. So I'm going to have you squeeze the feet, squeeze the legs, the knees, the thighs, the buttocks, the belly, the back, the hands, the arms, the chest, the head, the face. Squeeze everything. Lift the arms and the legs and the head. Inhale, exhale, let it just all come down and rest. Just allowing the whole body to be completely relaxed on the mat. Letting go of all tension in the body. Imagining perhaps that all the muscles in the body are made of wax and it's just pouring down onto the mat. Softening down. Maybe even allowing a little smile to form on your lips. Becoming aware of your breath. Without trying to change anything, just noticing breath in and breath out. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I smile. And gradually letting go of breath awareness, becoming more aware of your surroundings. Gently beginning to move your fingers and toes. Maybe taking a nice deep breath in, raising the arms overhead for a big stretch. And exhaling, bringing them back to the mat. When you're ready, you can turn to your left side and just remain there for a moment. And then coming back up to seated. And just taking a moment in seated just to notice how is the body feeling. Namaste.
I hope you enjoyed your yoga class this morning, and I'd invite you to visit my webpage, which is whyretreat.com, if you'd like some information on the other classes that I have here at the studio, also retreats and some other goodies, courses and books and things. So thanks very much for joining me.